Hey YouTube, it's me Choi Boy and welcome to another video. Today it's going to be the updated version of how to use Sharesies 101. And I've made this video before. It went really viral in a sense, not really, but a lot of you guys have watched it and it's thanks to you all. I thought I'd make an updated version of this in 2021 because there's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot more features and a lot more shares available since the last video I made a year and a half ago. So I hope this makes it much easier to use Sharesies for you in the long run. Just a disclaimer before I start, I'm not a financial advisor. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt and do your own research and just combine everything and make your decision of many sources. It's not really a good idea to take proper advice from people on YouTube such as myself, so just beware of that and we'll get straight into it. It's gonna be in a logical order of when you first start Sharesies, what you'd be setting up first and how you'd be going through the entire pages. So I'll be going through parts and parts. I'll be putting timestamps, so make sure you look into the timestamps. If you're new to Sharesies, then watch the whole video. I'll try to make it as detailed as possible, but if you need to revise later on certain features or certain ways of doing things in Sharesies, then make sure you use the timestamps to skip to the right places second or third time through the video in the future. Right, so first one is the settings. When you first get into Sharesies, and if you don't have the settings done properly, then it's going to be a bit of a pain, so make sure you set this up. It's done once and for all. So let's go into settings. So as soon as you log in, you'll see a bunch of these things. I'll be covering these things. So personal details. So you got your name, email, and phone number. I'll probably blur them out so you won't be able to see anything, but make sure you got these right. Bank account. So you got your bank account here and you got the cards here as well. Bank account is the preferred way of topping up your wallet because it's no fees, where cards do kind of give you a fee, so just be aware of that. The fee is quite high, but either way, register both of them and it's pretty easy to use. Notification, if you want to get marketing or investing activity emails, then you can get that. So when you buy or sell shares, it will kind of aggregate everything for you on a daily level and it'll send you an email. Marketing things is just, you know, advertisements and announcements and whatnot. So that's the kind of things you're looking in for notifications. But yeah, security, 2FA is pretty important, but it's extra security for anyone who wants to have multi-factor authentication. This is where you can use your authenticator app on your phone, so you can have a second layer of security on your account. I just don't do it because maybe I should. Anyways, tax details is your PIR. You can get your PIR by going into, just Googling PIR calculator, and there's a bunch of them for you. Just click on the one that you're with, like the bank you're with, and they'll normally have a PIR calculator for you. Mine's at 28%, so that's it. You put your IRD number and they pay your taxes for you, and that's why they kind of need this tax details. It's pretty good. Mainly it's for dividends, so just be aware of that. Make sure you get this right so it's paid to the right account. Make sure you put the right one in first time round. Transfer shares. So some of you might be already investing in other platforms like direct broking or like ASB securities, whatnot. So if you want to bring shares into Sharesies from those other platforms, you put in your investor details, they'll do it for you, and you just got to bring in the shares you want to bring in. So that's pretty ideal if you want to kind of put everything into Sharesies. They do that for you. Reports is pretty nice. So if you want to get investment reports or transaction reports, then you can get everything here. They even give you tax reports, so it's really good. They did automate things really nicely here, so you can get that for any period of time. So make sure you play around with this. And there's a thing called create kids account. Kids account is when you're a parent and if you want your kid to start investing in Sharesies, then you can create them a kids account under your account and they can do their own investments pretty easily. So that's something for parents, for people who want their kids to start investing. You can open one up. Last one I want to talk about for settings is market depth is something that people kind of don't need if they're an investor. So most people would be deemed a investor in Sharesies. So a very small fraction of the people in Sharesies might be called day traders. So day traders probably use these information more than investors. Most of you guys wouldn't need this if you're a beginner, especially. So it's just about what kind of order books. So going through the order books and what's available at the price and how many shares are in the order books for a certain price. It's all those kind of information. It might be useful, but I don't know if it's worth $10 if you're like a casual investor, retail investor that only puts in money every now and then, or if you're doing dollar cost averaging, then you really don't need this kind of information unless you're a day trader, to be honest. So make sure you know what you're doing if you want to enable this, and they'll take $10 out of your wallet every month. Okay, so once you're done with that, you'll pretty much need to top up your wallet, right? So you go into your wallet, and your wallet is pretty much your Sharesies wallet. It's pretty much money that is not invested in a stock or a fund, and it lies in your wallet. You can withdraw money from your wallet and you can top up your money in your wallet. So that's what it is. Make sure you know what's going on here. So to top up, you can use a bank transfer or card. So if you go into bank transfer, they'll give you a particular that you need to put in when you're doing a bank payment. You just go into your bank app and you send money to the Sharesies bank account with the specific particular. They'll top it up for you in the next available time. Sharesies uses a ASB account, so if you have an ASB bank account, if you're topping up from that one, it will be pretty fast, maybe an hour or two any time of the day, where if you're another bank, then it'll probably be the next business day. So just keep that in mind. If you're really urgent, which most people shouldn't be, you could use a card. It's quite a high fee, so just beware of that. It does cut into your amount. And there's a thing called exchange money. So if you want to exchange the money in your wallet, so when you top up your wallet, it'll most likely be New Zealand dollars. If you want to change that to AUD to buy Australian stocks or Australian funds in the Australian market, ASX, then you could do this. You cannot invest NZD into Australian funds and stocks. So you need to exchange your money before you do that. And if you want to withdraw from Australian stocks and funds and put that back into your bank account, then you need to sell the stock or fund, change it back to New Zealand dollars, and withdraw it. So that's kind of things you use here. It works the same for US dollars. If you want to do US stocks or fund, then this is the way you need to do it. They have redeem a gift. So redeem a gift is people can create gift codes, and when you buy a gift code, you can set a dollar value on it and you can send that to people as a gift. And if you get a gift code from someone, then you can put it in here and it will redeem the dollar value and put it into your wallet. So this is a pretty nice way to kind of give to the people around you. I think you can only do this from a card, and yeah, it is a bit expensive. So normally, like, I don't know, 20-50 bucks might be okay, but anything more than that, it is a bit expensive. And another thing is, if you want to withdraw money from your wallet, then you need to go in here. Then you need to put the dollar value you want to withdraw, and it can do it for you. Obviously, you cannot withdraw money that you got as a gift, referral, or promo right away. You need to invest it, sell it, then put it back into your wallet, and then withdraw it. So make sure you know that. Because I got this $5 from a referral, I won't be able to withdraw that. So the dollar value I can withdraw at the moment is 0. If you have your bank account set up as I mentioned before, then it'll show it like that, and you can just withdraw right away, and it'll take maybe 1 business day for it to come in or so. There's another thing that you can look through, like you can go through the transaction history. So it's pretty much every transaction that happens in your wallet or your stocks, your portfolio. So every money you get, you put in, you take out from your wallet. Every company you buy and sell, it'll show up here. So make sure, if you want to look through the transactions you've made so far, then just look through that. And remember, in settings you can pull out the report for transactions. So there's a lot of good things here. The last thing I want to cover on this page is seasons change giveaway. So this is a very seasonal thing. This is something that they have recently updated, where if you top up your Sharesies wallet anytime in September to November, then you can win some prizes. So they got some nice prizes like $2,000 wallet top up and some peanut butter if you're into that. They got a electric moped and $1,000 wallet top up. For October and November, they have $10,000 wallet top up. You can, this is This is crazy. I never thought they'll just give out $10,000, but they'll top up your wallet $10,000 and they'll give you 1 year supply of pineapple lumps. So Kiwi, such a Kiwi thing to do, but it works. If you were interested to start investing but haven't already, or if you wanted to top up your wallet anytime soon, probably now is a good time because every top up will give you an entry into this giveaway. So make sure you look into that. And yeah, this one's pretty nice. So shout out to Sharesies for doing something like this. It does create a nice community and a nice giveaway for people to get motivated and start investing. So this one is pretty interesting. So let's go into the invest page. So invest page, there's a lot of things going on here, but we'll go through them. So this is where you can find companies and funds you want to buy. And it's pretty nice. It's pretty simple to use. I'm gonna go, let's say if you click into search bar, it will give you the top companies based on market cap. You can filter or you can sort your list based on whatever metric you want to sort it by. Filter is the interesting thing here. So if you just want companies, then you can just press companies. If you just want ETFs, you can press ETFs and manage funds. So there's a lot of good things here. If you just want to see everything, that's it. If you want to look into specific sectors, then there's a bunch of sectors here that you can invest in exclusively. And this is probably the important one, exchanges. So when a company, stock or fund is listed publicly, they are listed through a market exchange. And New Zealand is NZX, Australian is ASX, and then we got CBOE, NASDAQ, NISC, which are the US ones. So those are the only 3 markets that Sharesies provide. And I think this is the only platform that kind of gives you a wide variety in New Zealand to invest in. So make sure you use that. If you just want New Zealand companies, you just press this and you just go this. So if I just want companies and NZX and then I want them to be in the banking and finance, then I can just do that and it'll show me this. And if I want to sort it by price change, so the ones that had the biggest price change in the past 1 year or in the past 3 months, there's a lot of ways you can use this filter. It's really sophisticated and it's really nice to have when you want to search for new companies. So this is something that you could use a lot. So let's say you go into a stock or a fund, let's say Apple, the top one that we have in the list here. So if we go into the stock that we want to look into, they'll give you the price per share. They'll give you a description of what it basically does. It'll kind of give you information, general things like CEO and the number of employees and the website if it has it. So you can have a look through this one. It's pretty nice. It'll show you the tags it has. It's a company stock which is listed on NASDAQ and it is in the manufacturing and technology sectors. So these are the kind of tags it has. You can see the price chart and you can change the time frame of what the chart represents. So this is a nice way to kind of have a look at how the price has trended over the years or months. It'll show you the low and highs and price change for the time frame you have chosen. So if you want to see the last 3 months, it'll show you what was the lowest price, the highest price, and the price change since 3 months ago. It'll also show you how much of a fee they take from your transactions where you buy or sell. It will always have a transaction fee. Gross dividend yield and P ratio. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but this is the amount of dividend payout they do per year, and this is the P ratio. I don't know how accurate these numbers are because these are quite different from Simply Wall Street sometimes, which is a analytical tool I use for researching stocks. So please do your own research, make sure you cross-reference everything and make sure you get the right numbers. I normally don't pay too much attention to these numbers in Sharesies specifically, but it's there for you if you want to have a rough estimate. Market cap is pretty much the total market value of the stock you have. Apple is quite a big company, so they have $2.42 trillion market cap. So that's about it. For all stocks, they will normally have a 7 risk, whether it's a good, safe blue chip or a really high risk small cap, they'll all have a 7 risk level. But for funds, it will be around 4 or 3, depending. I think 3 are the ones that are like bonds. Like bond funds would be 3. Normal ETFs like S&P 500, US 500 or NZ Top 50, these would be 4. I think 6 are like the odd kind of funds that people normally don't go into too much detail unless they know what they're doing. So for example, the SQQQ, which is shorting the market pretty much. That would have a risk level of around 5 or 6. So they have different risk levels, but I don't pay too much attention to this either because I kind of know what the risk level would be for certain stocks or funds I'm looking in because of my research. So it doesn't really mean anything for companies. The risk level is pretty much based off how safe it is and how diversified it is. So it's like a combination of all these. So that's a pretty nice to have. Not something I kind of keep too much attention on. So if we go back to the invest page, you can see that you have a watch list. So you can go into companies, right? And if you go into company, there'll be a star here. If you do that, I have just removed it. But if you want to add a new company to your watch list, then you just click the star and it'll go yellow and you'll see it in your watch list here. So it will give you a full list of the watch list. So any company you are looking into invest but you don't have any investments in already, then this is a nice way to kind of list out the companies you've been keeping an eye on. If you forgot what company you were looking into and you want to revisit, it'll show you the latest 5 companies and funds that you've recently clicked into. So this is a really nice one to have as well. The last one I want to talk about in this page is these things here. So we already talked about the giveaway, but the pre-made investment packs, this is the auto invest where you can auto invest to New Zealand based funds. So funds that are given by New Zealand managed funds or Smart Shares, which is the main ETF provider in New Zealand, you can invest through here and you can do a dollar cost averaging on these kind of funds. So they have pre-packed orders for you. So they have a responsible order for like responsible investing, ethical investing, and they got a bunch for global order, which is just spreading out the money you invest into wide variety of kind of country funds. You got the US 500, Europe, Asia Pacific, emerging markets, Australia, New Zealand. So it's pretty much spread your money across everything. So there's a few options like this. If you want to choose your own allocations and your own funds, then you can click into here. You can click the ones that you want to look into and you can create your own fund. If you want to create your own auto invest, let's just go in here and let's say I want to do a auto invest every week, $50 into a couple of funds I like. So let's say I want to do New Zealand top 10 and Australian top 20. And let's keep it like that. Let's say I want to have 2 funds that I want to dollar cost average into. Then I go in here. Let's say I want to do $50 per week starting from today. And if you go invest $50 every week into those 2 funds, then they'll do everything for you. You just got to make sure your wallet is topped up every week, $50 before the day of the auto invest getting kicked in. So make sure you look into that. It's pretty nice to have if you don't really want to think about anything, and if you just want a dollar cost average into a fund that New Zealand provides, then this is a nice way of doing that. Other than that, if we look at the few other ones, so you can learn the basics here as well. So they explain a lot of good things about, you know, about what markets are, what the exchange is, the US exchange, funds, portfolio types, market orders, limit orders. I'll kind of briefly go over for you in this video as well, but these are really nice to have as well. It'll pretty much teach you the basics of investing and how to use Sharesies in a nutshell. And if you want to look into US shares or Australian shares, then they have these kind of cards for you, but it's better to just use the filter, so you can just do that. So let's say you finally found a company you want to invest in. Let's say, for example, Plexure. This is a personal holding of mine, not financial advice, using this as an example, so keep that in mind. Let's say I want to buy Plexure stock. So I would go into buy, and there are 2 different types of orders. There is a market order and a limit order. Market order is what most people would use. It will just buy the shares you want to buy at the market rate, whatever the value is at this point in time. and this will only go through during trading hours. I'll talk about trading hours later, but it will only put an order. It will buy up whatever order is available at this point in time. So that's a market order. Limit order is when you set the price you want to buy it at. Let's say Plexure is at 66 cents right now, and if I put a limit order of 50 cents, I'm saying I want to buy my shares when the market rate is hit 50 cents. So the highest price I will pay per share is 50 cents. So this is a way of doing it. If you think the stock is going to dip a bit, and if you want to have an order ready for you to buy up stocks when it's a bit cheaper, then this is a good way of doing it. If you just want to buy it right away, then it's a market order. So let's do a market order, and let's say I want to invest $5 into it. Review, it will ask for my password. Cool. And you can do that, and if you click buy, and it will show you that it will buy it up at the next trading hour. Let's say you didn't want to do that. Let's say I actually wanted to buy it at 50 cents. Then I would go back here, limit order. So I want to buy it at only 50 cents, and let's say $5 review. And if you do that, it will put an order for you for 50 cents per share. And it will not buy up anything more than 50 cents. So it will wait for the market to reach 50 cents. The only problem with this one is that if Plexure does not go down to 50 cents, then it will never fulfill the order. So that means you will never be able to buy Plexure. So this is the thing you need to think about. You need to be reasonable with these, and sometimes it's not worth doing a limit buy, sometimes it is. It really depends on your strategy. So make sure you know what you're doing with these ones. But these are the two kind of ways you can buy shares. Let's say if you want to sell shares, it's the same thing. It's a market order or a limit order. Market order is you're selling it at the market price, and limit order is when you're setting a price you want to sell it at. Let's say it was 66 cents, and I want to sell off my Plex shares when it's 70 cents. Then you go in here, I'd say 70 cents per share, and I'll sell everything. You go review, and you can do that. This is just a warning that you normally won't see. This only comes up when you already have a buy order for the stock already. I have one because I joined into their capital raise, but that's okay. But this is how you do a limit sell in shares, and yeah, it works the same with funds. So that's how you buy and sell stocks and funds in Sharesies. So let's say you bought the shares, and if you want to look into your investments, then you can go in here, your investment tab, and you can see the total value of this investment in this stock, and you can see the total return, which is pretty screwed up. Mind that it's not doing too well, is it? But it's okay. So your total returns, whether it's positive or negative, it will show you here. It will be simple return based off, you know, how much you put in and how much it's worth right now, and that's your simple return. Negative 33%, not the best idea. So obviously don't take advice from me, but that's how you look at it. This is the number of shares you hold. So it's a really nice kind of simple way of looking at the numbers of your investments in the stock. And this is a chart based off how your portfolio has done for this stock. So let's say during these times, 1 year ago, roughly, I chucked in only $3,388, and it was, you know, average around $6,000 in terms of value. Then I increased the amount of money I put into Plexure back in December from the capital raise they had last year. So it will show you the principal value did go up, and the total value did go up as well, but because Plexure kind of decreased in price over time for the whole year so far, you can see that price dip in the pink line here, and this is where we are at this point in time. So it's a nice way to kind of track the current record of your investments in the stock. Of course, if you scroll down, then you can see the investing activities you've done here. And as I mentioned, this is the latest one I have right now. So joining in their share purchase plan. But you can see pretty much all your transactions for the stock as well if you just go down. So this is your investment tab. It's really useful if you just want to have a look into that. Finally, the portfolio page. This is the one that when you click the portfolio thing here, it shows you the main page. This is what people would be most familiar with. So it will show you the total value of your portfolio. Remember, there's a portfolio value and a wallet value. They're not the same thing. Portfolio value is all the money invested in stocks or funds, and that's the total value of your portfolio. Anything in your wallet is not part of portfolio value. It's a separate thing where this is the amount of money you have to invest into stocks or funds, or you can withdraw into your bank account. So that's the difference between the two. You got total return, simple return, and the amount of money you put in. Now, there is a confusion here. The actual amount of money I've put into Sharesies is around $19,000, but it's showing me 25,000 is because I was averaging around 40-50% before I moved into these stocks in terms of simple return profit. And my value pretty much dipped a lot from then. So this value is pretty much this value divided by this value. Total return is actually based off the principal value I've put into my Sharesies account. Because I told you I only put in around $19,000 into my Sharesies account. It shows me if I add $814 into my $18,280, it's roughly around $19,000. So that's the actual amount of money I put in. But when you divide this by this, then it gives you the simple return. So it is a bit misleading. Just know what's happening here. I normally don't pay attention to this kind of number, but this is the only number I really care about, is how much am I down from my principal value. So that's the only thing I really care about here. As I mentioned before, just because I only do individual stocks at this point in time, my investments will be all high risk, because I remember I told you that it is all risk level 7 when you're doing individual stocks. So these are the companies I currently hold, and I'll show you in this list like this. If you had funds and stuff like that, you can filter it by risk, but because everything is risk level 7, it's no point doing that. It'll show you the current value of your stock portfolio for each company you hold or each fund you hold. So it'll show you a list here. These are the numbers of shares you have in this company or fund, and this is the simple return percentage based off how much you put in and how much you're down or up so far based off that. So it's a pretty nice kind of thing here. It's pretty simple. I prefer the old UI, but either way this works as well. I'm not too fussed about it. So this is the biggest change in the portfolio value. I think a lot of you guys who've been using Sharesies for quite a while, you might remember how the old one looks. There is a poll in my community page about if you like the new Sharesies portfolio page. Give it a vote if you have any ideas about that. So before I move on from this page, I forgot to mention this chart is pretty much the portfolio value versus the amount of money I have invested. Okay, so that is the thing here. I think you've put in, so it's exactly this number is the dotted line here, and this number is this pink line here. So it's a nice way of seeing how well your portfolio is doing based off the money you've put in so far. So lastly, I do want to talk about the Share the Aroha. So this is a page where you can send gifts to people. So remember I said you can receive gift codes. This is where you create gift codes. So you can create your gift or you can redeem it here as well. This is a way you can send gift codes through to other Sharesies users, normally friends and families, $20, $50 kind of gift codes that they can receive and invest as well. You can't withdraw money that you get as gifts, so you got to invest it once before you can take that money out into your bank account. So beware of that. Referral is another thing. So there is a referral link below for my one. I think you get $5 and I get $5. It's a win-win. So it's a nice way to get it started without actually putting in your own money, and pretty much it shows you like this. So it's a pretty nice way to kind of get more people on the Sharesies platform. So there's a nice referral thing there. Yeah, so that's about it. There's a few other tips and tricks that I do want to talk about. Do your own research all the time, because every investment action should be coming out of your own head No one should be forcing you to buy or sell anything. Please make your own decision, because most of the people online, if they're not financial advisors, then it's illegal to give financial advice. It's pretty obvious. If you actually want to seek proper financial advice, do find a financial advisor around your local area or something like that. Someone who is actually certified to do so. People like me don't have such qualifications to do that. So put that in mind. There is a lot of research needed before investing in the stock market. I do prefer people to know what they're investing in rather than not and just riding hypes. So that's one tip there. Another thing is trading hours. So let's say I got two main markets here. I got US companies and I got New Zealand companies. So if you click into the companies, like let's say BlackBerry, and if you want to see the trading times, it will show you in New Zealand time what the trading times are. As you can see, it's 2:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. So that is the time when you can buy and sell shares. If you create orders outside of these times, then it will run in the next trading hour based on this. So it's an easy way to check it out, so you can do that. Same goes for New Zealand stocks as well. It's normally 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So make sure you know that, and any orders outside, it will be processed the next trading hour. Last tip from me before I log off is please think of stocks and funds as a long-term investment rather than short-term. I know there are a lot of people that tries to day trade on the stock market, but the more beginner you are, the more risk you would have to screwing things up. So investments are normally supposed to be, especially stocks and funds, they're normally oriented towards long-term investments. Short-term, no one can really predict what's going to happen in the next couple of months to maybe 1 year. So short-term is a big risk for people who are looking for quick wins and quick bucks. It's not the right kind of market for you if that's the case. You'd rather do Forex or commodities, but you have like 90% chance of losing your money there as well. So, you know, it's a long-term game, so keep at it, grow your patience, and you'll see the light someday. Same goes with my portfolio. It's been like this for quite some time, but you know, I'm here until I can see some improvements. Of course, this does require you to do really good research and pick out good companies for the time being, and being up to trend with what kind of companies will go up in the future, in the near future at least. So make sure you know how to look into companies and financial reports, and you know, find a way that works for you. Everyone researches companies differently and funds differently. Make sure you find the one for you, and you'll be a great investor in the near future. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, put a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, it really helps, and put the bell notifications, because I do live streams every now and then to kind of answer your questions and go through certain stocks that people might want me to look into, and I use Simply Wall Street for that. Enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Laters.